Hi there. Welcome to Apple World, man. Did you all attempt to cause young Miami problems? I ain't perused the record you all should need to cause young Miami problems. You realize Diddy ain't playing man. You realize he ain't playing hi to everybody. I'm Dr. Ahmad Shakur. 50 Cent is set to do a narrative about Diddy and these claims against him. We should get into it as per page 6 of 50, who's had a decades-in-length on and off quarrel with Diddy, is in his creation house on doing this narrative on the troubled, terrible kid mogul. You all I can't really accept. That at Young Miami collaborating with 50 Cent to uncover Diddy. This must be the most insane update that we've caught wind of the entire Diddy circumstance. And yes, it's similarly essentially as awful as you can envision, so it's seeming as though Diddy has blamed everything on Miami and has passed on her hanging to get the intensity from this untidy legal dispute. Well, young Miami City young lady isn't going to go down like that and still up in the air to take Diddy down with her. All entered and grab a chair. As we gather ourselves from this insane group, 50 Cent has reported that he will be chief delivering the narrative on Diddy, and during Diddy, a lot of sibling affection can cost you. Now I think this will win a ton of grants, especially in light of the fact that 50 Cent knows very much well about the kind of adoration that Diddy was attempting to show him. Okay, so it appears as though Diddy isn't the only one getting heat from these new claims in light of the fact that a lot of individuals are becoming involved with the wreck as well. And no, I'm not discussing his legitimate group. Those people are likely praising all the way to the bank, covertly expecting much more allegations to come in and keep that money streaming great. It appears as though the attorneys are the only ones partaking in this exciting ride, since every other person in Diddy's camp, including Diddy, appear to be in full tumult mode, including his boo thing Miss Young Miami. Word on the road is that Young Miami is getting dropped right close by Diddy, and truly it isn't so much that astonishing after the entirety of Diddy's a major part in the business, and his impact has a ton to do with Miami status now that he's enduring a shot at set. Emmys to be Miami's taking one as well, and she is going down similarly, however hard as Diddy may be. And perhaps considerably harder. Everything began to turn out badly with the Cassie claim, since she's uncovered a ton of horrendous things about her relationship with Diddy. She uncovered that Diddy saw Miss Venter in her own home after she attempted to leave him, frequently punched, being kicked and befuddled on Miss Venture, bringing about bramble lips, bruised eyes, and forced Miss Venture to draw in ag and see loose demonstrations with Mrs. Hughes while getting off on it and shooting the experiences. Requested that Miss Venter to convey his arm in her satchel, just to make her self-conscious and show how hazardous he is, and acquaint Miss Venture with a way of life of exorbitant liquor and substance, and expected her to secure illegal remedies to fulfill his own addictions. She likewise uncovered how he put his hands on her again and again. For instance, there's the point at which they were coming back from a party, and Mr. Combs was kicking Miss Venter over and over in an ESC, and by kicking and hitting her, he constrained her out of the vehicle on Fifth Road in New York City. She was, in the end, ready to take a taxi and get to her condo in Manhattan. Basu likewise discussed when Mr. Combs Venture drove her into the side of the vehicle and trampled her face. When the vehicle showed up at Mr. Cole's home, Miss Venture endeavored to take off, but Mr. Combs followed her and, what's more, continued to kick her in the face. Miss Venture was bountifully guided into Mr. Cole's home, where she started to hurl at the recent occurrence. She likewise guaranteed that he would sedate her and pimp her to different men. He called it freaks, as per the claim. Mr. Combs generally provided Miss Venter with plentiful measures of medications previously, and during foes, his venture was given cannabis, liquor, and exorbitant sums during foes, which permitted her to disassociate during these terrible experiences. It became a normal spot to get IV liquids in the days after a bout to recuperate from the unreasonable substances pushed upon her. She likewise uncovered them for purportedly attempting to unalive individuals, like the time he purportedly exploded Kaku's vehicle, or the time he, in a real sense, attempted to unalive Knight. According to the court report, on one occasion, Mr. Combs and Miss Venture were utilizing together in his home when one of his security team members jumped in and declared that Shite, a long-standing adversary of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In coffee shop in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs began to dress, recovered various weapons from a safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Mr. Knight was feasting. Did he eventually settle the claim? Mr. Cole's choice to settle the claim in no manner subvert his flat-out forswearing of the cases. He is cheerful they got to a shared settlement and wants Miss Ventura to enjoy all that life has to offer. However, by then the harm had been finished, and even with all the PR he attempted to do, there was nothing that could stop this deplorable aftermath. And as we dug further into Diddy's reality, things got truly questionable. Turns out Schneid seriously hated nearly being unified Diddy, so he chose to uncover Diddy directly from his prison cell. He spilled some tea that Cassie didn't actually discuss in her claim now, on the off chance that a buddy will call you out from. In the slammer, you can wager he's anticipating bringing you down. Turns out, Diddy purportedly got physical with his ex-right hand Capricorn since she covered Cassie when she connected with Kid Cudi, and he needed to send an exceptionally clear message dislike. He another knew same time he what's a young lady name? A Cassie. Or anything. He had a right hand by the name of Capricorn. He felt Capricorn C was keeping this on low about in the event that she was screwing with Psy, or not Puffy out, that she likewise uncovered inward degree records for taking care of Capricorn so that Did wouldn't go to prison. Now they out of her. It was an incopy individual. The N really look at that paid her to settle, yet he wouldn't go to prison. Well, Capricorn ultimately emerged to represent herself, and she had a ton to say. She tweeted, "Don't follow the way of the fiendish. Don't follow the people who do fiendish. Avoid that way. Don't for even a moment go close to it. Pivot and go another way. Maxims 4:14 entryways be opened. You move to be to leave the cash. Full stop." 2011 was damnation. Now she uncovered the business for empowering Diddy's terrible way of behaving and concealing for him, while watching him hurt ladies and individuals around him. She said, "People of color turned out to be the penance for the most recent 11 years of my life. I needed to manage everybody's silly loyalty to Satan. I substitute that it closes. I don't respect any of you. You can't hold your head down and imagine that your school is no better." She at long last said they would skin you and wear your child. Kim was the main individual who didn't change during the only dull times. "I'm actually exceptionally set off. I ask when it's finished, and I never merit this tear." Camp Watchman, however, talking about Miss Camp Dorman, we additionally figured out that Diddy frequently put his hands on her father's protector. Jean discussed when Diddy beat Kim up so severely to the point where she at last began retaliating and guarding herself one night. When they were at home at Kim's home on 110 The Road, he needed to, put his hands on her in the incorrect manner, and Kim took one of those court messes, tore his wrist up, and hit her corridor. When she did that, he needed to rush over to St. Luke's clinic, yet it deteriorated when a lady named Happiness Dickerson Neal emerged to guarantee that Diddy purportedly doctored her ass at her and recorded it without her insight when she was an understudy in 1991. As per reports, the grumbling charges comes deliberately Dicker Neal, leaving her unfit to stand walk. The suit said she left her beverage unattended with him at a cafe, and subsequently under supposed strain from comms, she endured a shot from an unpolished day then, at that point, headed to a music studio. The suit expressed when Dickerson Neal couldn't leave the vehicle, Combs supposedly assumed her to a position he was remaining to say her. As per the documenting, much more dreadful, she uncovered in the claim that Diddy had made a video of him saying her, and he shared it around report. Have it that days after the fact that a male companion named Devant swung an individual from the famous 90 SR and B. Jodick uncovered to Joey that he saw a grown-up tape alongside others. As per the suit, Joey said Swing dreaded his band would lose its record bargain in the event that he opposed Brushes. There was one more claim by a mysterious lady who guaranteed that Diddy and Aaron Corridor purportedly couldn't stand her and her companion at Aaron's condo, so it was very much like everything was heaping on for Diddy. And the more Diddy got hauled in, the more Miami likewise got hauled in. However, at that point, things took a more terrible turn for her when the Rhodes began discussing how she, at some point, united with Diddy to hurt different ladies, particularly the opposite side piece. Gina H. recalls when Diddy's side piece Gina expressed this before all else. Like the initial 3.5 years he was. The initial multi-month 3-4 months he was truly pleasant. However, at that point after that, he began being so the initial 3.5 years he